Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We'll begin on page 653 with the words of Dodi Lee. Dodi Lee, Vani Lo, Haroe Basho Shanim, Dodi Lee, Dodi Lee, Vani Lo, Haroe Basho Shanim, Dodi Li Mizot Ola Min HaMidbar, Mizot Ola Min HaMidbar. 653. Dodi Li Vani Lo, Haroe Basho Shanim, Dodi Li Mekuteret Mor Ulevona, Mekuteret Mor Ulevona. Dodi Li Vani Lo, Haroe Basho Shanim, Dodi Li, Dodi Li Vani Lo, Haroe Basho Shanim, Dodi Li. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It feels like it's been a minute since I've been here. It's so nice to be back. I feel like I've been traveling. I've been with our teens in New York. I was at this Interfaith America conference this week. I'll talk a little more about that. In my Dvar Torah, it was Pesach. We had a lot going on, and it's nice to settle back into a routine of being here with our wonderful, beautiful community. I'm glad to be back with you, Linda, and all of you too. But Linda's shouted out, so I gotta, give a shout out there. But it's so nice. I think the best part about Shabbat is that it comes every week, and we get to enjoy that respite, that rest, that moment of being together where we sing and our voices meld into one, into a whole that's better than the sum of its parts. And on Shabbat, I often teach that we get that extra soul, that extra breath. And so, because it's been so long since I've been able to breathe with all of you, it's been a minute, I want to take that moment, to take that pause, that sweetness of Shabbat. So I invite you to get into a comfortable posture, put your feet on the ground, with your back straight. You can close your eyes or you can soften your gaze. We'll take in that neshima yetera, that extra breath and neshama yetera, that extra soul of Shabbat. And we'll breathe in and exhale. And breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and hold for 3, 2, 1, and breathe out. You can open your eyes as we celebrate Shabbat together. And I invite Molly Guerrero and Emma Cruz Berber to come up and light the Shabbat candles. Tomorrow is happy hour in Havdalah. We'll be with your Shir Hadash Ohana, so if you want to come up, and Molly and Emma are graciously leading us in our happy hour in Havdalah. So We will turn to light the candles on page 120 in the blue brackets. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach. We begin our service on page 130 within the blue brackets with Lechun Ranana. Lechun Ranana, come, let us rejoice, let us sing out to God to begin our Kabbalat Shabbat service. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nahariya letzur yishenu nekadma fanav betodah bizmirot nahariya lo yerirai Page 131 in the blue brackets. Shir Adonai, Shir Hadash, Shir Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shir Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato yedirai, yedirai, It's really so nice to be back and to hear your voices. Thank you for praying with me. We turn now to page 132 on the bottom. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ule Yishrei Lev Simcha. Light is sown for the righteous, and radiance for the upright. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. We turn now to page 135. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We will lift up the name of God together, for God is holy. Romemu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. Romnemu, Romnemu, Romnemu. Adonai Eloheinu. If Kabbalat Shabbat is a journey, which it is, and the apex of that journey comes at Lechadodi, bringing in all of the energy we've cultivated and built over the past several prayers, past several psalms. We build and grow till we get to this final greeting of the Shabbat bride, of the Sabbath bride. We'll sing a melody that originates through the words of Shir HaShirim, the words of Song of Songs, this beautiful springtime and love poem. We'll catch on to the melody quickly. We did it a few weeks ago. We'll do it again for the first 5 verses, and we'll close with a familiar favorite for the last 4 verses. And at the 9th verse, I invite you to rise and to face the door to welcome in the Shabbat Queen. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat mekabela. Try that. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat mekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmianu אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייכם לה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי. על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, קורבה אל נפשי גאלה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי אורי שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו אני עמי, ונבנתה עיר על תילה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשסו שוסייך, ורחפו כל מבעלייך, יסיס עלייך Elohai Kimsos Chatan Al Kala Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Yamin U'Shmol Tifrotzi ve'et Adonai Tariti al Yadish Ben Parti Ben Ismecha Ben Agila Lecha Dodi. Please rise. Likat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Boi v'shalom Ateret Bala Gam besimcha ubetzola toch emunei am segula boi chala boi chala Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Yada lai 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 Yada lai 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 Yada lai 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 Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala. B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Shabbat Shalom. Wow, wow, wow. And now we will take a second. We read the Shabbat Bride. We'll greet one another, say hello to a friend, old or new. We'll be back in a moment. We invite you to return to your seats. And we continue on page 140 in the blue brackets. I know we have so much to say to one another, so many greetings to give. I'm going to ask you to return to your seats. We have a schmooze after services. We have a little oneg after services. Plenty of time to talk then. And we turn to page 140. You may be seated. The words are 3 lines from the bottom in the Hebrew. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lahagid baboker chastecha, v'emunatcha baleilot. It is good to give thanks to God and to sing to the Most High name, to in the morning speak of God's loving kindness, and at night of God's great faithfulness. Because when we wake up each morning, it is an act of chesed, it is an act of loving kindness. And at night, it's an act of great faith that we will wake up again each morning, that we will feel that joy as we sing together, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Try that once more. Tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Lahagid baboker chastecha. Lahagid baboker chastecha. Lahagid baboker chastecha. Ve'emunatcha baleilot. Ve'emunatcha baleilot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Lahagid baboker. Lahagid baboker chastecha. Lahagid baboker chastecha. Ve'emunatcha baleilot. Ve'emunatcha baleilot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. And we'll sing at the bottom of page 140 the words of Tzaddik Katmar Yifrach, the words that the righteous, like the date palm, will prosper, will grow, will flower. We'll sing with just our voices to welcome the holiness of Shabbat together. Tzaddik Katmar Yifrach ke'erez balvanon yiskeh shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Hodyenu von beseva deshenim verananim yehiyu Yashar Adonai Tzuri Velo Avlatabo. We turn to page 146 for the Barchu, the call to worship. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Yai, hi, 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 hi. Yai, hi, 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 hi. Yai, hi, 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 hi. Yai, hi, 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 hi. Yai, hi, 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 hi. Yai, hi, 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 hi. Yai, hi, 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 hi. Yai, hi, 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 hi. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. We'll read together on the bottom of page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? And 6 lines from the bottom in the Hebrew on page 148. Umavir yom, umevi laila, umatil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chaleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hamariv aravim. Page 150. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah Mishpatim otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shochbeinu v'kumenu nasiach bechukecha. ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. al tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael. We turn to the Shema on page 152. We open our ears. Shema, pay attention, listen to the unity of God in the world. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha. Yu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam beshivtecha beveitecha uvlektecha avaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beineinecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha lemahan tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet Adonai Elohechem emet. We turn to page 158, Michamocha, our song of freedom. We remember at the parted seas, Moses, Miriam, Aaron in the front, all the people singing in an echo across all the walls of water. So we sing now. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh Nora tehilot Ose fele malchutecha Ra'uvanecha Bokeayam Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Zeli Hanu ve'hameru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Together, yai, 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 Yadai, dai, dai, yadai, yadai, dai, 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 yadai, dai, dai, dai. We turn to page 161. We read together on the top, "Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim." Turn to page 162. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We now turn to page 164, where we will begin the Amidah, and then we will continue silently. Please remember to add in the additions. I forgot to say at the beginning, Chodesh Tov. It's the new month of Iyar this month, so we'll add in the additions for the Rosh Chodesh. Please rise in body or in spirit as we face the Ark. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. We continue silently. page 180. Ose shalom bimromav uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel Ose shalom imromav uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'yimeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ose shalom imromav uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'yimeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'yimeru amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and all who inhabit the earth. And may we say, Amen. We now turn our thoughts to those in our community who are in need of healing, healing of body, healing of mind, healing of spirit, those struggling with addiction, those struggling from grief, those struggling and those who are in need of our prayers of a heavenly, heavenly peace to be granted upon them. As my hand crosses the room, crosses the kahal, I invite you to say a name of someone either out loud or in your heart who are praying for their healing. The congregation sends blessings of healing to Scott Van Gundy, Batya Peters, Sandra Goldberger, Rich the Bridger, Robert Bergman, Ruth Murad, Melanie Weil, Ron Victor, Prue Victor, Barbara Jacobs, Susanna Kuzis, Marilyn Katz, Joe Isaacson, Tamara Herman, Stacy Stoffer, Lenny Sue Master, Naomi Kalmus, Marshall Heller, Rachel Meister, Sam Meister, Diane Gilden, Davida Rosenbaum, Vicki Kaufman, Rose Bataznik, Bob Steinfelds, Carolyn Curlin, Linda Stahl, Judy Sutton, Bernice Paris, Ellie Johnson, Ellen Seiss, Florence Mitnick, Jean Lewitt, Elwyn Way, Sharon Kaplan, Shelley Jarzina, Cassie Botshelley, Fern Bayer, Linda Scott, Valerie Tenenbaum de Leon, Mark Adams, Leah Bat Rivka, artist Jack Now, Laura Bernal, Lisa Cardin, Anthony O'Connor, Alison Coven, Yaakov Yosef Ben Zlata, Harav Gita Dalia Bat Reuven Beyafa, Amit Ben Kalman Halevi, the Shlomit. And now I invite you to join in your voices with Misha Berach on page 370 in the blue brackets. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. To all those whose names we've said aloud, to all those that are in our heart, a refuah shlema umhera, a full and speedy recovery. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Growing up, I lived 4 blocks away from the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. Not a bad spot. Many Sundays were spent going to the museum's entrance facing Central Park and spending several hours walking through the many exhibits. Can you imagine a young Rabbi Rafi doing that? Possibly. Not something that's so hard to envision that. Could happen. You could see it. While I always loved the dinosaurs, not to mention the elephant dioramas, the memory that lingers most is that of the Hall of Gems and Minerals. In this darkened room, split open geodes, each forged over an unfathomable amount of time, would sparkle by the light of intentionally placed lamps, meant to maximize their shine. I'd always love examining these rocks up close, seeing how their rough and bumpy exteriors gave way to unimaginable beauty, hard-won by an uncountable number of years. Similarly, in the second of our 2 Torah portions this week, Tazria and Mitzorah, there you go, sure, you always can count on you, sure you know the Parsha, so it's good. No, it's good. In Mitzorah, we read of a person, and it could be any of us, struck with a scaly and bumpy affliction. Some call this disease, which is called tzara'at in Hebrew, leprosy. It's unclear if that's really what was meant by the text, but that's sort of in common parlance, leper and leprosy. The source of this ailment is unclear. The rabbis, of course, offer several possibilities: gossip, selfishness, pride, theft, lying, and more, all viable options from our tradition. What is clear, however, is that the person struck with leprosy needs to announce their illness to the world. Our rabbis offer that this call for attention by the leper is so Rabim Mivakshim Alav Rachamim, that people's compassion will be aroused and they will pray for mercy for the person struck by these scales and bumps. Of note is that the leper is forced to be isolated until after the priest has deemed them able to return safely to the community. The community, in their compassion, prays for this return. In reading these passages from our parashah, I think of these geodes that have long fascinated me. These rocks look like nothing from the outside. They even look ugly. But inside, they show millions of years of what seems almost like careful artistry. When these precious stones and minerals are all lined up in a unique and beautiful array, it is hard not to feel something, to feel awe, compassion, and gratitude for the world we live in, a feeling that can be all too hard to come by these days. I thought of all of this, the leper's cry and the response of the people, the light of the geode that only comes when burst open, this past week when I was at the Intrafaith Jewish Community Convening, say that 3 times fast, hosted by Interfaith America. Interfaith America is an organization committed to, quote, working towards an America that embraces the power of pluralism. Pluralism, for me, is not a buzzword. It's the practice of being fully ourselves, warts and all, while also doing the hard work of staying in community with those you may not agree with. And in Interfaith America, of course, they see religious and wisdom traditions in all of our diversity as fundamental to what makes the United States the United States. So, to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, which will happen this year on my birthday, the 4th of July, Interfaith America is, yeah, that took a second. Interfaith America is convening leaders of different religious and faith-based communities to come together and discuss the nature of interfaith engagement in this historical moment. So there I was, sitting in a room with 20 other Jewish religious leaders, heads of federations and Jewish community relations councils, leaders of eminent nonprofit organizations and institutions of learning from across the country, and we began our time by sharing our stories. Stories that, in 3 minutes, would tell us what we needed to know about our own unique approaches to interfaith engagement. I myself spoke about my recent experience advocating for the West Valley Muslim Association in Los Gatos in their pursuit of modifications to their conditional use permit. How 3 members of this community came to our Passover Seder, and we are, God willing, restarting a connection between our 2 communities. As each person took a turn to share their own stories, I noticed that each one, in both their content and the way they were told, was just like the geode on the wall in the Museum of Natural History, just like the leper being taken out of isolation. The stories I heard brought these 2 images to mind in their intensity, in their beauty, and in their immense, immense challenges. When we heard and spoke these stories aloud, hidden interiors became visible. I heard my colleagues share victories of long-standing relationships, paving the way for coalition work that served the greater community. I heard them share about groups torn apart by difference, when people just could not see eye to eye. I thought of the leper, who was announced out loud to the community by means of summoning support. I thought of the rocks that emerge in their beauty after millions of years of pressure. I thought of them both when they are brought out of isolation and placed together in the light to inspire. The leper is a person like any of us underneath their skin disease and scales. The geode is unremarkable until it is cracked open. When we share our stories with others, bringing the concealed to the fore, we have the capacity to move one another into greater action. And when we listen to these stories, really listen, just as the community does for the leper, we do the active work of calling for our own unique compassion. It is unclear to me what exactly will emerge from this convening I attended. Will we create a cohort of like-minded Jewish professionals dedicated to interfaith understanding? Will we write a book together to articulate the novel theology or a new path forward for our community? I don't know. And for right now on this Shabbat, I don't need to know. What I do know is that our tradition teaches us to lean into vulnerability in moments where it might feel impossible. That on this Shabbat, we can begin and continue dedicating ourselves to sharing our successes and our failures, our wins and our losses, in the service of rousing ourselves into compassion for our neighbor and showing the glimmer of a crystal that lives in each of us, just below what might be a rough surface. May we always go beyond that surface layer and listen to that beauty that lies just underneath. Shabbat Shalom. We'll turn to the Aleinu on page 588 and 591. We will sing the words V'hashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hua Elohim. Take it to heart that presence is godliness. Please rise as the ark is opened. V'hashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim v'nehemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo echad. You may be seated as the ark is closed. We now turn our thoughts to those we've lost in this season and in years past. If you are in the first 7 days of mourning, Shiv'ah, please rise and share with us who you are remembering.
I'm remembering my cousin, my actually step-cousin, Arthur Melvin, and I'm remembering my Dr. Stan Shore. Sorry.
If you are in the first 30 days of mourning, Shloshim, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you are in the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you have a yard site this week, an anniversary of someone's passing, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. We We remember loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. Barbara Conroy, Linda Marks Turboff, Bob Sherman, Karen Robinson, Jay Brill, Lee Howell, Kevin O'Connor, Bonnie Friedman, Joseph M. Sutton, Dr. Saul Levine, Deborah Brody, Paula Eppinger, Marsha Cohn-Spiegel, Michael Lieberman, Paxton Cooper Sr., Kelly Lipsey, Dr. Jack Meltzer, Isaac Zareski, Susie Zuckerman-Gullett, Barbara Campos, Lucille Friedland, Michael Dorfman, Norman Whitgen, Joel Ash, Beverly Willits, Roger Scott, Lillian Statfield, Martin Fenster, Michael Goldman, Tucker Sanders, Judy Verratti, Al Parker, John Gittleman, Eileen Wolk, Berdine Coven, Reuven Robert Bob Glasser, Zelda Rosenberg-Katz, Gary Hertzberg, Alex Goldberger, Mira Engel, Barbara Robbins, Elliot Matthew Berkowitz, Lynn Gabay, Nancy Hirsch-Myers, Deborah Pink, Anna Casman Matthews, Greg Erb. The congregation sends its condolences to Linda, Jaden, Elijah, Janaea, and Daniel Stahl on the passing of their husband and father and Shir Hadash member, Dave Stahl. We would think of those who've died at this season in years past: Bob Katz, David Schwartz, David Weinstein, Francis Vick, Helen Chapman, Jean Jacobs, Joel Gary Schwartz, Jonah Anschel, Carl Held, Marilyn Zerl, Oscar Sobel, Paul Murphy, Stan Merliner, Sylvia Zabridger, and William Siegel. And now you can support our community by standing or sitting, joining us with your voices or your hearts for Kaddish Avelim, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divra Cherutei Ve'amlich Malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shmei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ve'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. May the memories of your loved ones be a blessing in your life always. Yehei zichram baruch. You may be seated. It is now my absolute pleasure to invite up our board president, Stuart Katzman, to give us some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good evening. Good to see you all here. Maybe in the interest of saving a few shekels, we might have returned the temporary heaters a little too early. So if you're a little cold, I apologize. But if you're coming to the Hawaiian Havdalah tomorrow night, dress winter Hawaiian, I guess. A few announcements as always. Shabbat Cafe, new earlier starting time, 8:45. So maybe those of you doing Torah study can actually participate. Torah study tomorrow, note the new earlier time start as well, 9:15 a.m. starting tomorrow morning.
I want to say just the thought is that we shouldn't have to go from the moment Torah study ends and dart into services, that we can take some time to be a little leisurely on our walk from learning into prayer. That's the thought.
So Shabbat service time, same as always, 10:30, not changing. Saturday, April tomorrow night, 7 p.m., happy hour in Havdalah. Celebrate with your Shir Hadash Ohana at the Hawaiian Happy Hour in Havdalah. There'll be pina coladas, tropical vibes, and island-inspired bites. And you're all welcome. Is it too late to register? Some of you involved in the... Just show up. Just show up. Sunday, the preschooler party and open house and kids' clothing swap at 10 a.m. And this week, Thursday, 10:30 a.m., Nashim, the Grammar of Choice, Women's Actions in Jewish Story and History. And a preview, a week from Sunday, April 26th, 7 p.m., the movie screening of Bad Shabbos.
Bad Shabbos.
Shabbos. Bad enunciation. Join Rabbi Rafi for a screening of Bad Shabbos.
Bad Shabbos, bad Shabbos.
A sharp comedy about a Shabbat dinner gone off the rails. Dessert will be served. Saturday, May 16th, right here from 5 to 10 p.m. is the Cantor's Cabaret. I'm sure you've all read and heard a lot about it. Tickets are actually selling fairly quickly, so if you don't have any, grab them while we have them. But it'll be an unforgettable evening as we'll be honoring our beloved Cantor. 30 years at Shir Hadash, and she's invited some guests. We'll be singing some songs. There's going to be dinner and auction. Auction items are already actually on our website, and tickets are on sale. And then immediately, well, not immediately, but the following day, May 17th, will be our regular annual congregational meeting from 10:15 to noon, and you'll be hearing about things that update. I'll provide an update of the year's activities. Not much was going on. We will vote on a slate of candidates. We will vote on a budget. If you haven't seen it, we're presenting a balanced budget. We will vote on Devorah's contract, which will take her through retirement. And you'll hear an update of a few other things. So you'll hear about our new vision, the education program. It'll be a great morning full of all kinds of stuff. So look forward to seeing a lot of you at a lot of different things over the next month. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Yasher Koch, Stuart. Thank you. I will say one of the auction items is a sing-along for you and any of your friends, a private sing-along with Rabbi Rafi. So I'm just saying, get those bids in while you can. We will turn to page 122 in the blue brackets for Kiddush, for sanctification of the day. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Let us take a moment with that breath, with that extra breath, that extra soul of Shabbat, the Neshama Yetera, the Neshima Yetera. We'll breathe together, and we will remember the words of the psalmist, Kosi Revaya, that my cup overflows. Think of one memory from this past week. You're entering the Shabbat, a memory of joy that'll sustain you for the next 25 hours. Va'erev boker yom hashishi, va'yechulu hashamayim ve'haaretz, v'chol tzevam, va'yechal Elohim b'yom hashvihi, melachto asher hasa. Vayishpot vayom hashvi mikol melachto asher hasa. Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi. Vayikadesh oto kivo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Savri. With gusto, Savri. I think we did one more, like really everyone, Savri. There we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lemase v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh. Zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta Ve'otanu kidashta im kol hamim ve'shabat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. We'll make motzi for the wonderful oneg that I believe awaits us outside. And if I'm wrong, then well-made motzi will be ready for Shabbat dinner right afterwards. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Delicious, always delicious. I invite you to get close to one another, close to your family, chosen family, someone you just met tonight, someone you want to make sure you really can feel the extent of all of the blessing that overflows from all of us as we say the priestly benediction. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom. May the light of God's face shine upon you always, and may you know only peace. We sing Shalom Rav together. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom rav al Yisrael hamcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael hamcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol het ubechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav tasim leolam. Shabbat shalom.